Hello and welcome back, YouTube. Well, I couldn't have timed this worse, trying to go near Griffin School right as it's letting out, and Palm Lane and 46th Street both turning into a massive traffic jam. I was coming down 46th and I wanted to turn right onto Palm Lane, and the street completely blocked by a line of cars pulling in to pick up kids from school. You know, when did that exactly become a thing? I don't remember that being a thing when I was in school. When I was in school, about half of the kids rode their bikes home or lived close enough to walk, and the other half of the kids got on the school buses. It was always a really small amount of kids who were picked up by their parents at school. And now it just seems like that's like the default way for kids to get to school and get home from school. Every school that lets out, at the time school lets out, you have this ridiculous traffic jam of parents picking up kids in cars. And I'm really curious when the hell that changed. And granted, it was pretty much like that when I was taking Lily to school as well. I was probably a little curious about it then. I mean, I understood why I was picking up Lily at school. We lived out of the school district. Now, Arizona is an open enrollment state, so anybody can go to any school in the state as long as they have space for it. Like you can, and schools often encourage people to enroll from out of district because it generates more tax dollars for them. But yeah, this whole cultural shift of kids being driven to school by their parents and dropped off via car by their parents and picked up by their parents, as opposed to walking or riding a bike to a neighborhood school or riding the school bus. I'm really curious, like when that changed, because kids having their parents drop them off and pick them up after school was a very unusual thing when I went into school, when I was going to school in the 1970s and 1980s. So I thought I was shooting video right when I left my place. I wasn't. I hit the red button and I had it in just regular camera picture mode versus video mode. So yeah, not one of my smarter maneuvers. So I was trying to explain why I was a little late leaving, and I guess I'll rehash that. So it's 1:37 p.m. Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. That was a weird sound, but my window was just not quite all the way up. So yeah, 2 days in a row, I'm driving because I'm a little late leaving out of my place when I intended to use public transit, particularly the SkyTrain, to get to work. And I do want to get back to doing that. It saves me gas, and I really do enjoy getting to work without driving. But what's happened both times is I've been working on editing additional chapters of my vlog to post online. And actually yesterday I wasn't working on editing as much as I was moving files up and down from the cloud. But today I was completely working on editing. And one thing I've noticed that causes me to really lose track of time when I'm editing video is that iMovie in iOS, for whatever reason, makes the clock go away. And by the clock, I mean, generally speaking, when you're looking at iOS on an iPhone, you've got the time in the upper right-hand corner. Right next to it, you have your battery meter, which I have mine set to show the battery percentage. I think that's not the default setting. I think the default setting is just a little meter which shows very little information, but I think most people will go in and change that so it shows the percentage. Certainly everybody I know with an iPhone, they set it like that. And then after that, you got additional information on your on the little bar across the top of the phone, such as whatever app you use, left, notification, little notification icons, status icons, that sort of thing. But for some reason, when working on something in iMovie, all that goes away. Now, I do know there are other apps that take over the full screen like that, and I really wish that was a setting, and maybe it is a setting and I just don't know how to set it, but yeah, I don't like that. I'm as somebody who's on the autism spectrum, I absolutely need to see a clock in front of me to know what time it is. I have zero sense of time, particularly. I mean, there are certain environments in which I have a good sense of time, but that's based on knowledge of how long it takes to do stuff. Like when I'm driving around, I usually have a really good sense of time, but it's not based on how much time I've felt past as much as like I know how far I've driven from point A to point B and about how long it takes to get from different places to other places, and how much time passes, you know, what traffic is like at certain given times. And that's my way of telling time if I don't have a clock directly in front of me. Although I'm really uneasy when I'm driving a clock that doesn't have a clock in front of me. I mean, how often do I complain about the fact that the Saturn clock is 2 minutes off? Did I say the date, by the way? I think I did, but it bears repeating. It's Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023, 1:41 p.m. right now. So, I'm hungry. I should really stop. I have yet to stop and get any food that I can prepare at home without substantial effort. Like, I've got stuff that I could cook, but I don't cook. And my kitchen really isn't in a condition where I can cook right now. So I did get a big sandwich using my EBT card over at QT yesterday after I left the bar. And while that helped, I'm hungry now. So I need to get a loaf of bread, and I'm out of Dijon mustard. I hate it when I run out of Dijon mustard. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head over to, since I have a little less than 20 minutes and I'm practically at work right now, I think I'm gonna head over to the Burger King over on 16th Street and do that $5 2 Whopper Junior deal, because that'll fill me up really quick. So obviously it's a little cooler today, although I'm shooting with Obama Phone 3, so who knows, maybe if I was running my iPhone right now, it would have already overheated. But it feels cooler in the car today than it did yesterday. So there's that. I guess I can, since I'm not on the iPhone, I can just pop it open real quick and look at the weather widget. 105 today. So yeah, I think that's cooler than it was yesterday. Ah, shit. I wanted to go to the left to get onto Buckeye. And I just took the lanes to Sky Harbor Way. I don't recall if there's any way to get where this lane goes. You know, as long as I've worked around the airport and as much as I've driven around the airport, you'd think I would know all these ramps and the ins and outs of these ramps, but so many of them have changed over the years, and then there's ones that I use and ones that I don't use. And granted, the one to continue on Buckeye Road from Sky Harbor Way is one that I regularly use, but drove right by it again. Access to 24. Well, this is one I've never used before. This is bizarre. Access to 24th Street. Now, that used to be the exit for 24th Street North. I do remember that. But 24th Street used to go underneath that overpass to the left where this veered off to the right. And that's now Copperhead. I have definitely never used this before. Wow. Wow, this is so odd. Like, there's some kind of an entrance to something to the left, and then there's some kind of security booth or something to the left that used to be a thing that isn't anymore. Bam. 24th Street and Sky Harbor Circle North. Wow, I'm actually really glad that I messed up and went that direction, because I had no idea that I could take that exit from Sky Harbor Boulevard and go through a weird little one-way lane through different lots. There goes the Route 70 North on 24th Street. And end up on Sky Harbor Circle North. That was completely unexpected. Now, the big question is how much time did that waste? Oh, it's now 1:45. Yeah, I think it wasted enough time. I should just take my ass to work. All right, air conditioning on the car, not being particularly effective right now because I'm not moving fast enough. So Rob said he added an additional fan to my car. So it seems like maybe the reason it's just kind of working as opposed to not really working like it should is that there's one fan that's probably coming on like it's supposed to, or maybe staying on when the car is turned on, and then the other one not coming on at all when it's supposed to be switched based on the temperature of the car or the status of the air conditioner or whatever. I really don't understand what all happens with that. I for one, miss cars being the way they used to be, where the radiator fan was just this simple mechanical blade that was bolted on the front of the engine, and it turned whenever the engine was turning, at whatever RPMs the engine was turning. I don't know why car makers got away from that. That was pretty simple and never really malfunctioned. But it seems like automakers thrive on making vehicles more complicated, less serviceable, and more expensive every year. I'm really torn right now as to whether I want to be a little bit late for work and get something to eat, or whether I want to be a little on time for work, a little early to work, and hungry. And right now I'm leaning towards a little late and not hungry, because being hungry at work sucks. Granted, I could probably go up to the sandwich place over there at inside the rental car center. I really want to do that. The woman with the absolutely amazing breasts and the short ponytail, I haven't seen her since the day I met her, and that's been a couple of weeks. Now, I remember she said that she was working in another location, but then she was here all the time because she was doing a lot of training. So I wonder if that maybe she was just there for training and now she's not there anymore. I've noticed that the woman that works at night, and you think I would know her name as many times as she's told me her name, but no, I don't remember. But I know it seems like she's been there now every night for also a couple of weeks. It seems like I met her like the day after the woman with the short ponytail and absolutely amazing breasts. And the relevant thing isn't about me looking at breasts, although I enjoy that. But the woman that was doing the training with the incredible breasts, and every person that worked there prior to her, when they would have the 50% off sandwiches, what they call the happy hour sandwiches, which are just a little closer to their sell-by date than the other ones.
Hi, what can I get for you?
Yeah, can I do the $5 Whopper Junior Duo with two of the barbecue, bacon, and cheese Whopper Juniors?
Both the same, right?
What?
Both of them the same?
Yes, please. And is there tomato on that?
Yeah.
Can I get it with no tomato?
Anything else?
I think that'll be it for me. Thanks.
5 please, at the window. Thank you.
Thank you. man, their menus doing that thing that I hate when digital menus do, where I was looking at the list of the different types of Whopper Juniors and then it suddenly disappeared and turned into something else. I don't know who started doing that with fast food menus, but you guys need to cut that shit out. Like, there's nothing more annoying than something disappearing while you're reading it.
Hello, 5.4.
Yikes. Sorry, I was having
Any
trouble.
sauce in there?
No thanks. I wonder what she'd say if I asked for sweet and sour sauce.
No sauce, right?
No.
I'll be right up.
Or, I could ask for cocktail sauce. And then I can go over to Pete's Fish and Chips. Or not cocktail sauce, but tartar sauce. Ask for tartar sauce. And then later go out to Pete's Fish and Chips, where for some reason they don't give you tartar sauce when you order fish and chips. They give you cocktail sauce. I don't know if I mentioned that when that happened, but that was so weird to me. And when I went back and I'm like, well, why didn't I get tartar sauce with my fish and chips? I'm like, oh, you have to pay extra for that. Really? Since when? Since when does tartar sauce not come with fish and chips? Anyway, I ordered 2 Whopper Juniors. I don't know what sauce you would need for that, but she keeps asking me if I want sauce. Of course, maybe it's an issue if they charge me that. Thank you. And I paid with a credit card, did not get a receipt. Ain't that some shit. Alright, trying to figure out the best way to get back to work. Turning left from that driveway, not a good idea. That was remarkably quick here at Burger King. Just not quite sure the time right now. Oh, it's 51 after. I'm gonna actually get to work on time anyway. Very nice. Oh, damn. It just reminded me, looking at that Chase branch, and of course I don't have time to go there right now, that I totally wanted to go to Chase before work. Not that I really need anything from Chase for my account. Like, everything's pretty good on my account right now. Other than I could maybe use some help resetting my password again. I don't seem to be capable of resetting it and remembering it. But in a rental car, and I've mentioned I find stuff in rental cars all the time. People do crazy stuff behind a rental car. All I got yesterday was a little cell phone bracket for putting cell phones in like a clip bracket for mounting cell phones in AC vents, which I'm not particularly fond of. And the shitty thing is, I think I left that in a different rental car. So, easy come, easy go on that. But anyway, what I found in a rental car yesterday was somebody's new account information. In a folder. I went ahead and grabbed that because I want to protect whoever it is from identity theft, since they left themselves wide open. But yeah, it was all their paperwork for opening a new checking account, including pre-filled out direct deposit forms with their account number and routing number on it, and like a page of 4 starter checks, blank checks with all their information on it. Like, wow, dude. And it looked like they got some kind of a special package for college students. Like, oh, you're in college, and here, now you're an adult now, have a checking account. And wow, that guy, whoever's account that was, they're off to a really bad start at adulting if they're leaving that kind of information in a rental car. And on that note, they're lucky that I found it as opposed to somebody who would have just had a heyday with that information and gone on a shopping spree, or worse. Yeah, it's an account from Chase, so I kind of wanted to bring that stuff by, drop it off at the Chase branch, but I don't have time today. Anyway, I'm not sure if I explained the reason that I keep hoping to see the woman with the amazing breasts versus the really sweet girl that's been working there since, that started that week, and works the night shift that I've pretty much seen every time since. but I end up going in there kind of at night, is because she told me that I can't get my employee discount on top of the happy hour sandwich discount. Whereas the woman with the ponytail and amazing breasts and every other person who was ringing me up the sandwich before then always gave me both discounts. It's the difference between the sandwich being $5 and a little change and $6 and change, just a little bit shy of $7. That makes a difference to me. I don't feel like paying around $7 for a sandwich. Not $7 cash. So I'm heading out for lunch. It's 8:10 right now. So I'm working with Carlos again. So it's my third night with Carlos, which is going fine. No complaints at all about Carlos. I mean, I'm working really well with Carlos, actually. I don't feel the kind of personal connection I felt with Glenn, and still no word from Glenn, so he's quite obviously not coming back, which really bums me out. I mean, Glenn and I just really clicked, and it just made the night just go by so much faster and was so much more fun. But yeah, I didn't even ask Glenn if he wanted, or not Glenn, but I'm sorry, I didn't even ask Carlos if he wanted to roll with me during lunch. I did offer to drive him up. I dropped him off at the, I'm driving the Shag. I dropped him off at the MLS break room, the Hertz, like the main break room where I clock in and out. I asked him if he wanted me to drive him up to the rental car center. He's like, nah, I'm fine in the break room. So, debating as to what I want for lunch. I just know I'm hungry. Of course, there's not a whole lot. It's like right next to the car rental center. But hey, at least when I drive my car, I've got more options. Oh wow, there goes a white Toyota Camry, which reminds me, the Shag I was driving last night was a white Toyota Camry, looked just like that, 2023 model, and I totally left two things in its center console. I've been looking for it all day today, and I haven't seen it. So my gut feeling is it probably went out as a rental. I'd left it in the gatekeeper line because it had a dent in it that Carlos had seen, but nobody mentioned the dent tonight, so at least they're not holding me responsible for that, which they shouldn't be. I mean, I sure as fuck didn't do it. I just didn't see it when I got the car, and you know, whoever had put the car, taken it as a rental return, or you know, whatever steps that car had taken between it getting returned from a renter and then me finding it in the maintenance side dirty line. Yeah, whatever all had happened, like either nobody noticed it was dented, or somebody dented it and wasn't saying anything about it. So that said, right when I started my shift today, I found a car that was in the pink hat maintenance line that had on the window like mechanical stuff mentioned, and the whole right side was just not like massively dented in, but like slightly dented in, but just massively scratched up, like definitely going to the body shop type. Like there's no ignoring the body damage on that one. And I just kind of left that. I was in the second line, and I just kind of left it there, even though everything else had been moved out of the second line, until I could see one of the mechanics. And I don't think he's a manager or anything, but he's one of the mechanics that I have really good rapport with. This is an older guy, works for Hertz, who pointed out to him. That's what he suggested. He's like, yeah, it's likely somebody that fucking moved it did it, because there's just no way somebody checking that in could have missed that. That's way too much damage. It was likely somebody who moved it did that, and they just left it here so they wouldn't get caught. I'm like, well, that's kind of fucked up. Anyway, I'll be back. I am. It's gonna be some food here for Circle K. And welcome back. That took a lot longer than it really should have. It's 8:25 now. Still Wednesday evening. This week has just gone by so fast for me. This is such an interesting Circle K at night in terms of people watching. At least for me it is. So, soda fountain looked really nice and really well stocked and a nice variety, and they had the brisk mango tea, which I absolutely love, and I tried to get some and I got water. Damn it. So I just went in and settled for Mountain Dew because I figured I got still kind of a long night ahead of me here. Dang, I was thinking I'd be able to turn left here. Nope. It's one of Enterprise's rental car centers there. So, yeah, kind of a weird Circle K moment in there. Oh wow. That's a bike lane now. That used to be a right turn lane. Wonder when the hell they changed that. Circle K's got their deal going on again, where you can get one of the Circle K branded snacks for 99 cents with the purchase of a Polar Pop. And I don't have the Sip and Save now. It used to be I could get those for $1 or 99 cents, whichever it is, while redeeming my Sip and Save drink. And then at one point they made it to where you couldn't anymore. They're like, oh no, that doesn't count. You actually have to pay cash for it. Well, I didn't renew my Sip and Save, so I paid cash for my Polar Pop. And I noticed they were doing that again. At this point, the bag of Circle K branded chips, I think it's up to like $2.50 now, maybe $2.69. It's amazing how expensive chips are now compared to where they were just 2 years ago. But anyway, grab the bag of the sour cream and cheddar chips, which I really like those. And it says select snacks, but I looked at the picture on the ad right there by where they've got the Circle K snacks and an end cap, and that's definitely one of them that was there. So I asked the cashier, hey, is that one of the ones that's included? She goes, I don't know, but let me ring it up and see if it gives you the discount on it. So she rang up the Polar Pop and rang that up. She goes, no, that's not one of them. And I was like, oh, well, do you know which ones are? She goes, no, they don't really tell us anything. And I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. And then I went back over and I looked at it, and I'm looking really close at the advertisement picture. And yeah, the chips that I picked out, these ones here, the I don't know if y'all can see it in this light, but the sour cream and cheddar ripple Circle K branded chips. I'm gonna see if there's a price listed on them, and there is not. It used to be they printed a price on the bag. There have always been deals though at Circle K, and for the longest time, you could buy 2 bags for $2. So I would never buy one. I'd always buy 2, eat one, put the other one in my cupboard for later. Anyway, I went back and I'm like, well, this is definitely the one that's in the picture. And she's like, well, I could manually put in the discount for you. I'm like, okay. So I went back up. I also got a microwave burrito. I'm trying to use the balance on my EBT card and kind of be as frugal with my cash as I can while my income is lower than it needs to be. And real sweet, somewhat cute cashier, and I wasn't trying to be a pain in her ass, but on the same token, like, my money's tight. So I'm trying to, I'm making my purchase decisions largely based on promoted sales that they have signs up in the store saying, hey, these are their sale prices, these are what they're doing. Trying to get as much of it paid for with my EBT card as possible. And anyway, she, I said, well, that's, I said, and she's like, well, she kind of apologized. I said, it's not on you. I said, but they really got to get their shit together, like, and fix that. And she goes, what? You mean me? And I'm like, no. Whoever programs the POS machines, you know, your registers, like, it's kind of messed up that Circle K prints up all these materials and signs and puts them in the stores, and then doesn't update the registers to where the prices come up like what they're supposed to, and then kind of leaves you guys, you know, that puts you in an awkward situation. And she's like, yeah, it's because Circle K is the shittiest place to work for. They don't tell you shit as a cashier. And I'm like, damn. Anyway, I'm going back inside. I don't have much of a break left. I have maybe 5 minutes of my break left or so. But hopefully I can eat my burrito before I go pick Carlos up. Taking the breaks with Glenn was fun. Like our little half hour, and sometimes we stretch it out by like 5 minutes or so. The cruises and stuff were entertaining. Like, it was just good times hanging out with him, and we both like stop at different fast food places or whatever. And I'm just bummed him and I never got to go out hanging out anywhere. I think if him and I were to go out to a bar or something, like he'd be a top-notch wingman. And I'd probably be a top-notch wingman for him as well, you know, just depending on which way that seemed to be going. But yeah, I don't even know how to get a hold of him. Just based on some interactions that him and I had with other people when we went to convenience stores and fast food places and whatnot. But anyway, I gotta get my ass back to work.